So, one time, a few years ago, I'm flying to San Francisco with a client, Al. We'll give him a name. No last name, but Al. And we're flying to San Francisco for a big negotiation on a deal. And I have 6 hours with Al on the airplane. Al, I'm going to ask lots of questions. I'm going to drill down. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt them. Let them talk. If you let people talk, they're saying the darndest things. Never cut them. I'm going on and on coaching him. We arrive at the key conference room the next day, or the conference room for the meeting the next day, the usual niceties. How was your evening? Hotel's nice, beautiful conference room, nice view, all the usual. I am just about to open my mouth when Al chimes in with a 30-minute monologue. I'm kicking him under the table. I said, Al, I think we need to call. No, I want to talk. And he goes on for a half hour. Wouldn't take my cues. No investigational negotiating possible. What's the point of the story? The point of the story is, and I'll come back to this theme again, is your team can be your own worst enemy. It's a theme that runs through this talk, and it's going to come up in several different contexts. We'll talk about the movie The Godfather later. Management lessons learned by, from Don Corleone, but teaches well. It's a theme throughout. Al was a terrible team negotiator. Tell you another story. So I'm doing a deal with Xerox Corporation on the other side, representing a Fortune 500, and we're doing a BPO deal, business process outsource. If you don't know the lingo, doing a business process outsource deal with Xerox, and the deal's going on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks. WebExes, conference bridges, more WebExes. Finally, it's like, we got to close this deal. Let's do this. We never have everyone's attention. Let's get both teams together. Let's lock the door. No one leaves the conference room. We're going to sleep there. We're going to get this deal done. So actually, we all get on airplanes, both teams, and go to Virginia Beach, where my client happened to have a facility. And this was an important enough deal that my partner was there too. So we had two lawyers. It's such a luxury to have someone you can work with in a negotiation well, because by having my partner there, I had the luxury of kicking back and watching the room. Tate, my partner, took the lead at the beginning. He was doing the investigational negotiating, and I'm just kicking back, watching the room, reading body language, seeing who's got their arms clenched, who looks uncomfortable, who's whatever. Someone's stating a position, it's like, oh, this guy's looking down. It's like, I don't think he agrees with his own side's position. These are the luxuries of watching, and it's a luxury that you particularly have if you have a team that you're effective with. So let me tell you about the attorney on the other side. He was Mr. Poker Voice, and all those WebExes and conference bridges, I couldn't read him at all. I mean, nothing. It was like a black hole of emotion. And then when we met in Virginia Beach, I still couldn't read him. But then, because Tate's taking the lead in the negotiation, I pull back at the table, and I look at a sea of legs. And there's one leg that every so often was doing this. This was Mr. Poker Voice, Mr. Poker Face. He revealed everything in his legs. When something that was really important to the other side came up and became contentious, there went the leg. I was finally beginning to get a read on him, but it took a pullback from the table. Also goes to the issue of why in-person's better than telephone. And we'll talk about that more later. But this is the importance of just watching a room, observing, taking everything in. And you know what? A negotiation's like an iceberg. Most of it's below the surface. But you know what? You got to learn to believe your instincts, because what you see above the surface is the best information you have. It's the best information you will ever have, and run with it. Now, I'm going to assume most of you saw The Godfather. Remember the scene where The Godfather is negotiating the sale of narcotics with the Tartaglias? And they're going on and on about, we want to be in the heroin business with you, and we're going to make lots of money. And the Godfather, played by Marlon Brando, says, my politicians, my judges, they don't mind the prostitution so much. That's not so, they don't mind the gambling at all. But this heroin business, it's a really dirty, ugly stuff. And I'll lose my politicians and my judges. And at that point, James Caan, playing his son Sonny, chimes in with, but Pop, what do you, and cuts him off. Don Corleone cuts him off. Jump to the next scene, and the Godfather looks at his son and says, don't you ever, 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 ever do that to me again. When we are in public, There is one voice of this family and one voice only, mine. You disagree with me, you disagree with me in private, never in public again. Jump to the next scene, and they're trying to assassinate the Godfather. Later in the movie, we learn the reason they were trying to assassinate the Godfather is they learned that if the Godfather was dead, Sonny would be in charge of the family, and they would be in the heroin business together. Now, that's a unique way to form a partnership. And if you get this wrong at your office, hopefully there'll be no assassination attempts. But with that said, all kidding aside, and I stepped it up for you, all kidding aside, act like a team. Act like a team. Caucus. Have private conversation. I like to use IM. I want my whole team on their laptop with IM up. I don't care which program you use. I want real-time communication. Stop on that. Wrong. Increase the price. Kill them on that point. You know, keep going. Pound them. Let's have a caucus. Whatever. I want real-time communication with my team. You never disagree in front of the other side. Way too much information. And then after you have your caucus, when you come back, whoever stated the original position that you're choosing to change states the changed position. Because otherwise, you're telling the other side who was championing the champion of which position in the closed-door caucus. Don't give them that. You never give information gratuitously. You come back, and whoever was stating the original position states the modified position, and that's part of what it is to negotiate as a team effectively.